Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Turtle Club podcast. As always, I'm your host, Dylan, and today I'm here with Bobby,
Hello.
Sam,
How's it going?
and Angel.
Hi.
And today we're going to be talking about the producer letter that the Bandai actually released a week ago, talking about their explanation for the new rulings that were actually introduced. So a bunch of new rules to introduce the game, pretty impactful changes. And then they talk about the Zunison cards and how they're impacting the game and all that. So we're just going to go over this for a little bit, tell our thoughts about how we think the rulings impact the game and how if they're good or bad changes for it. So I guess let's go through it. So they give a little introduction about Battle Hour and how that went. So they're looking to make the card game more exciting, obviously. And they obviously talk about how they're going to have many changes going on from Zenkai 7 set. So obviously the first inclusions of Z Unisons, which the set's now in pre-release, so we have our hands on Z Unisons now. I don't think any of us has really had any chances to really try them out that much, but they do seem like they're going to impact the game quite a bit, at least the powerful ones from the set. So we'll see how that goes. But obviously, now that we have Z Unisons, they made an addition to the Z deck where they actually increased the size from 7 to 10 cards. So I think everyone here can probably agree that that's a good change, right? Everyone likes that change?
Yeah, it's a good one.
I don't like it.
And it was inevitable.
I liked that you had to make hard decisions with your Z deck, and you had to actually consider what goes in. It made for tough cuts, but I thought it was an interesting dynamic. And now you just put all the stuff you want.
Not everything still. I mean, it's just there were so many decks that were entirely reliant on their Z deck being full of their archetype cards, so it's nice to be able to actually use some of the other stuff in those decks.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like too, it's just Z cards in general, like the Z battle cards. I feel like they've just been seeing less and less play, honestly. And with the Z Unisons, yeah, I think it would have been fine. Maybe 10 was too much. Maybe they could have went up to, what's it at now, 7? So they probably could have. I guess 10's probably fine then. But it seems like it'll probably be good, good for the better.
Yeah, especially some decks that require you to have a Z extra card and a Z battle card. So I'm assuming going forward, there's gonna be decks that require maybe all 3 of them in play or something like that. So if that ever comes up, obviously you're gonna need room for your mandatory stuff in the Z deck, plus also the extra stuff you want to have just generically. So in that sense, should help out those decks that need the cards. I know the starter deck Vegito requires a Z extra and the Z battle card to even play your deck out. So just having more space is I think just better. But
a lot of room.
Yeah, obviously it limits creative deck building because you're just gonna slot the best cards in your deck. But I think it's overall just a good change. So now we'll get into the big changes now. So the first implementation is energy markers. So if you've played Fusion World anytime recently, you know how Fusion energy markers work. So they know that a big advantage of this game is going first. So they wanted to make it to where going second is actually doesn't feel terrible. So we've actually had time to actually try this out since it's been a week or so. I actually, in my opinion, really like it. I think it helps to not get aggro down so early, or helps you get a card out sooner that you maybe if you would have been behind without it. I think it really helps a lot of leaders out because going seconds against a lot of decks feels really bad. But also, and it's nice in this game because going first actually is still good too because some leaders actually have activate main have effects they can do on the first turn. So still going first, it doesn't make it like Fusion World where going first actually feels bad sometimes. And this game actually going first still feels good. So it's nice. I think it's a lot more balanced in this game than it probably is in Fusion World. So how have you guys been enjoying the energy markers?
I mean, I personally think that the energy markers are probably going to be used more on the defensive side because now you can actually do your whole full turn that you're originally going to do without having to stop halfway through for defense, or maybe your opponent plays a counterplay or something like that. Instead, you can just keep going and then play your whatever Mecha Frieza or Red Gohan counterplay or whatever decks you're playing, D Magic or something like that. So I think it'll be more helpful on defense, if anything.
I would reserve judgment on. I don't know if I'm in favor yet of the energy marker. It might not be the perfect solution, but I do agree that the problem of going first needed to be addressed. There was definitely an imbalance of power when you got to go first. I mean, a lot of times you roll the dice, and when you lose the die roll, you're like, oh, that's it. Might as well scoop it up now because you can't win going second. So they definitely need to address that problem. They're right in that. The Z marker or the energy marker could be the perfect solution. I think we'll see throughout the season what comes up. I think someone will probably figure out some interaction that's unintended or too good off the jump. But I think you're not so favored going second with the marker either. So it seems so far that it's a pretty reasonable solution.
Yeah, I like it so far. It's pretty good. I think it's because, like you said, going first is still probably better because you get to if you have 2 energy, if you have 3 energy, those cards faster. So you go online faster. So it's still like I guess you're still your opponent can get to their first play first. I guess if there's like cards that aren't energy locked, like. I don't know. There's a guy at our locals that keeps playing the 10 cost Gogeta on me on turn 4, which is pretty funny. Just cost reduced by the Z extra or the Z battle card. So I mean, there's some interesting things that can be done and some broken stuff. So, but we'll see. We'll see how it really be soon.
Yeah, at least in this game, it doesn't count as your actual energy, so you can't just abuse certain effects that require you to have a certain amount of energy because it doesn't actually count as an energy, so that's nice. In case you guys didn't know, that's how it works. So, and it's funny because actually when Fusion World was first announced and they actually announced like the energy marker, we were talking about like maybe they were testing it for that game to like maybe include it into Masters, and they actually basically say right here that they were testing it on Masters and that they saw that it was a positive effect on the game. And also from Fusion World, so that's probably why, since it was so popular there, as a decision they probably included it into the Masters too. The weird thing is though, they say right here that you can use anything, like even like you can like it's just like a token where you can like use anything as a token. You can use anything that you want as an energy marker, but I'm pretty sure in the rulings for Fusion World you have to use the same color energy marker that they have in that game for your leader, or else you can't play in like a tournament with it. So that's kind of weird how they. It's kind of weird.
It is stupid. I mean,
that's kind of weird. I mean, I think
it makes no sense. But here we are. Yeah.
Maybe that means they're not going to be printing actual energy markers. That's maybe what they're saying with that. But I mean, they printed tokens, so they might eventually print it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they already got everything done with this set before they even decided on the energy marker and whatnot.
They might have already stopped printing Masters.
A year in advance, they stopped.
Well, they planned this stuff out, and who knows? It might be at the end of its shelf life before they ever get a chance to print us energy markers.
But you also got to think, if the game's really on its way out, do you think they'd be making these kind of changes like this? Like, what will be the point of you making these kind of changes if the game's going to be out? You know,
to make money, maybe to have other people come back to play it. So it's maybe people that used to play Masters before, now they're playing Fusion World. Maybe they're trying to get the people to come back to Masters a little bit. Who knows? It could be any number of reasons.
It's to make you believe that they still care. So you keep buying the product.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, with this next change that we're going to talk about, I don't know about that because this next change is more controversial. So they changed the mulligan, and it's not exactly a positive change. I mean, they think of it as a positive change because they say, okay, so how the mulligan works now, it works exactly like how it does in Fusion World. You cannot choose You cannot pick and choose what cards to put back on the mulligan. You have to redraw the entire hand. So that just hurts the consistency of every single deck in the game, obviously. Their reasoning is because of the expansion of the card pool and Z cards, and because they increased the Z deck limits. I guess they're worried about games being too consistent, something around that.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Same.
I mean, that was honestly one of my favorite parts about the game was the ability to choose on the mulligan because it always feels bad to lose because you got screwed by RNG like that. But obviously, picking and choosing what you want to keep is way better. So, what do you guys think about the mulligan?
Yeah, I hate it. It doesn't feel good. It feels. I get their reasoning, and I mean they're supposed to be RNG in card games. That's just the nature of the game. The Dragon Ball felt unique in that every game felt like a good game. Like if you got screwed by RNG, you lost when you built your deck probably.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now you really can get screwed. There's a lot of decks where you needed to see so many pieces in a certain order, like really greedy decks. Like they're all gone, pretty much out of the competitive scene anyway. Because you basically have to hope to sack your opponent, which is not good, in my opinion. But I mean, I get it. I mean, now the games will be more. There will be more variety to the games now. That's true.
To me, it's a really odd. Sorry, Sam. I'll just jump in. It makes me sad to see it go because the best part about playing Dragon Ball was the consistency of it. Like, as long as you built your deck correctly, you basically got to do your thing. You might win or lose depending on how well you pull it off, but you could always basically do what you want to do. And now to introduce this RNG, I understand that the Z deck has increased the consistency of decks, right? You're not, in the Unison Warrior block, you were looking for your 2-drop Unison to awaken, and you really needed that, and you need to draw it and see it, whereas now you just need your Z extra card to awaken, and it's always available to you, so I can see the logic behind it, but it felt like one of the things that made Masters unique, and gave it, it felt like, a little bit more, I guess, sweatiness, or, try-hardiness to it, but that's why we're playing this game at this point, because it's the best game around, so to get rid of that is kind of a bummer, just for the sake of being uniform with the new game. I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why they did it. Maybe it tries to make him more fair this time around. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like a thing they just put in there because that's what Fusion World was doing. I don't know. It's just that. I think that was the one thing that made Masters so a great game was because of that. It was because of the mulligan effect. No other game really does that, anyways. And now just to take it away, I don't know. It just seems kind of weird.
Yeah, having to accept a bad game was not something you had to do in this one.
Yeah, like I said, I can understand why they did it, but I don't know. They shouldn't have had to do it. I feel like they just kind of just threw that in there just to make it. They're just trying. I feel like they're just trying to push it towards more like Fusion World.
All of their games have this mulligan now. Right now, they're all uniform.
Yeah, it's like we were the. It's like this game was the Masters was the beta. It's like Masters was the beta, and now everything else just follows suit. It's just the end product, like One Piece and Fusion World and whatever other Digimon, whatever other games there are.
Yeah. I'm not sure how it is in other games, but I mean, our game has a lot of searching through the deck and stuff, so it isn't. I guess it doesn't hurt that much if you at least see your searchers to continue to see your stuff. But I mean, that is something that set the game apart from others, was having that cool mulligan. That was one of my favorite parts about it. So them removing that. I mean, I guess it's good we have a mulligan at all, because I really hate card games that just don't have mulligans, because it just feels like, oh, if I draw a bad hand turn 1, I can't do anything, I lose. So, but at least we have a mulligan at all. They didn't remove that, but that is a unique part of the game that I'm gonna miss unless they undo this, which I don't know if they'll do that now, because every other game is like that in the Bandai card games, so they'll probably just keep.
Well, they would have undone it. They would have undone it before they made this statement. Now, for sure, they're not going to. So.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think they would have. Yeah, they would have gone back on it right away, based on the reactions and stuff if they meant to. So.
Yeah. I don't know. They're just trying to. I feel like they're just trying to implement like their own like Bandai rules because that's just how the rest of all this seems to be the way the rest of their card games are leaning towards. And I think they're just trying to keep everything like under like the same rules for like all card games, or try to keep close to it, anyways. Like I mean, look at One Piece. It's pretty much just same rules, just different terms. So.
Yeah.
Well, at least they made these
Yeah,
changes
that's pretty much
before or after Worlds and everything. Like they said up here, they decided to wait. Like they had all these changes planned, but they decided to wait until after Battle.
Hey, that would have been screwed up
Worlds.
if they did that. Yeah, that would have sucked.
There's a bunch of new rules right before Worlds, so that's good. There's a bunch of little rulings that they changed also. I'm not sure if any of these are really... I mean, I guess Angel, you can tell me if any of these are really like noteworthy. Do any of these really
Significant?
change anything, like about certain decks or anything?
See the stuff that they said. Value. One of them fixes the Trunks SCR. If you use that in Go Hanks, that first change, the effect locks a value to a specific value, and something changes the value. So basically, if on offense you're swinging with Trunks and they try to use the super combos that gain combo power, Trunks keeps them locked to 0. They can't gain that combo power after.
Oh,
Since
that's what I was talking about.
yeah. Let's see, multiple actions simultaneously, they all happen. Total cost. I can't tell what that total cost thing is. It seems important, but I don't know what the hell they're saying. So, unless
Isn't it about the leaders that free play stuff, but then like you can't free play certain cards because they have a specified cost? Is that what it's talking about?
Yeah, but we already knew that. I don't know what the difference is here. I don't know if it actually changed anything.
Well, it says it's been removed. So does that mean you can free play cards ignoring the specified cost again, or
that if their specified cost is above their total cost? No, I don't think so. That wouldn't make any sense.
you don't think so?
No, I don't think so. Let me see here. Who else here?
The cards placed up in a Z deck are treated as being an open area. That's only for
That's
the
for
food deck, right?
yeah, Fu and
The secret rare.
that secret rare. Yeah,
I mean, that should have been obvious already. That you can look at it.
yeah,
Top of the Z deck. You
yeah.
can see
Cards
the
that are face up. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just.
I hope that came up in a tournament somewhere
Yeah, rule shark.
where a
And
guy
you can't look at the top
playing
of my Z
Flu
deck.
would just... He cannot look in here. Sorry.
That's technical.
I think, and then the thing about multiple actions happening simultaneously is also important, but not too important. So really, nothing's a huge deal yet.
Yeah, and then it said they included improve the descriptions of a lot of stuff, which I guess means like just like maybe like saving
For
space
clarity.
on cards, or maybe I guess being
No, that was in the rule book. But yeah, it's in the rule book. But yeah, pretty much just the first thing fixes Trunks. Everything else is just the same, just like some clarifications.
yeah, just a little stuff.
So nothing huge. Yeah,
But that was pretty much
just a little change.
all they had about the producer letter. It wasn't. I mean, these two changes, the energy marker and the mulligan.
Z-Deck are pretty big.
Yeah, the Z deck being increased. There's like three big changes. They're pretty big ones. So it's a pretty big change to the game. I think this is probably the biggest change they've had to the game since they changed the deck size limit. I think, right? Other than new mechanics, obviously. But
Yeah,
it's like the
yeah,
base
the new
game.
mechanic, yeah.
It's probably the last
Yeah,
time
rule-wise,
they changed the rules, right?
can't remember. But yeah, this is the one.
It's
This
such
is
a
the
big
big one.
change since they hit Gamma.
Yeah, it's a lot of changes.
Yeah.
I do like it though. I mean, I like that it's different. The energy marker is nice. The mulligan change can suck me, but whatever. We'll get past it. I'm excited to try the new stuff. Finally got my hands on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think certain stuff like the rival stuff for the red yellow is going to be interesting, like with the energy marker.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah,
like
exactly.
more on your opponent's turn, the energy markers where you're going to come in clutch.
Yeah. Is there any other like broken interactions we can think of with energy marker? Just like getting a card out earlier. I guess it'll help like
See,
Enos Index, right? They'll have like the big unisons.
Yeah.
To get that like a turn earlier.
Yeah, getting a 3 cost out at turn earlier is pretty nasty. So
Playing like a baby unison on turn 2 would be pretty nasty. Or playing like a playing the
probably
blue unison on
specifically
turn
baby.
3 be pretty busted.
Good thing it's
Oh,
it's a
yeah,
one.
blue unison on turn 3 would be insane.
At one. Yeah.
They're
That
pretty
shit's
busted.
brutal.
Yeah,
What's
that
some
is
other
a-
ones? I guess we mentioned the SS4 Bardock stuff because none of that's really like leader, energy locked. And we
Yeah,
had our locals
pretty
who
tough.
abuses that. Seems pretty nasty there.
it's a great effect. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think Carl mentioned this where the energy marker really gonna help like blue, like the D magic. Like you just use the energy marker to basically untap 2 for free. Like that'll be
It's
pretty nasty.
pretty wild.
We're there.
Or just hit a beam too. Yeah.
Yeah, that too. But that'll be pretty nasty. Just untap 2 for basically free. But like you guys said, I think the energy
I like
marker will
it.
basically be used defensively because you can tap out on your turn without feeling like you're completely helpless because you at least have like a backup, always just in case.
It would be cool if it brought back a blue ramp deck. You know, you'd have to go to the SS4 Vegeta on turn 4 instead of turn 5 or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice too.
Oh yeah, with 21 gone, is there any like really broken ramp that can ramp earlier now?
7-2 is always lingering at, like, you know, tier 1.5.
Yeah,
Tier
it's
is
pretty good.
probably still good if you put the time in. I bet you can tap 16 on people.
Yeah.
But they're not tier 1, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think this will mostly help defensively and also gets just your important pieces out of turn earlier. Maybe Token Toa. Better now? Who knows?
Yeah, if you got an energy marker for every
What are
token
you
you
saying?
generated or something.
What are you going on about? Making shit up?
Wow.
We'll
Hey,
see.
any deck with 3 drop unisons, you're better now. I mean, if you go second, I guess, but
There's not very many. You know, I was trying to look at that. I guess it'll be nice, but you also have to go second for those things to matter too. You know, so
yeah, you
it's
don't
not
choose.
something you can rely on consistently.
And you don't choose.
You don't
You still
choose
don't
anymore.
choose who was first, right? You just if
Yeah,
you
you
win,
still don't
you go
choose, yeah.
first.
Exactly, it's still random. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
Wouldn't it also still be random if you rolled the dice and then decided?
Yes, but it's not your choice. Is the point? I guess.
Yeah. That'll be the next change where they make it to where you can choose to make it more like Fusion World.
Yeah, Fusion World you can choose, but on the online client you can't choose. So I don't know. I guess it's still.
On the online client, it's probably just
I mean,
save
it's ultimately
time.
still random.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's an actual coin flip in the digital version. So, but yeah, I can say the only
Yeah, we
bad-
should be flipping coins.
Maybe we could do that. Yeah,
What are we doing with dice?
still takes time, and digital version does it immediately. But the mulligan, I think, is probably the only bad change. Right, everything else here's pretty.
I can see the downsides to Z deck. It fixes some decks that I like Janemba with the Z extras. You can actually fit some removal in there, or like run more Z extras so you don't run out of steam by turn 4 or 5. So
Yeah,
tight. Oh, this guy misplayed.
and it inherently makes the anniversaries extras better because you can always just fit at least a couple of those in your deck now since you have 10. Because
We haven't even talked about how good it makes the Meki Gabora SCR. Now I can put 10 cards under it.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
pretty-
that's right. So what? Wait, what is having 10 under it do? This is just
You can, when they attack, you can warp the card by removing
A card.
something from underneath it. So
so if it just doesn't
mean-
if it doesn't die, you just use the effect 10 times.
correct, yeah. If it doesn't die, which it will, but if it didn't,
Yeah, it didn't.
That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool interaction there. A buff to the one secret rare.
buy it out.
I mean, that is really good, but yeah, you know.
We let them know the sauce. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all we got here. These are pretty big changes to the game. We've already reviewed the newest set, which we're not going to talk about that. So yeah, we're excited to. We're excited about the new set coming out. We're ready to try out these new changes to the game. We'll be showing off some gameplay with the new changes, obviously, too, and the new decks, so watch out for that. But yeah, that's a bit of a shorter one, but I thought we would talk about the producer letter straight from the actual Bandai themselves. So we might as well talk about it, and then these are pretty big changes, so I figured we at least talk about that a bit. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you guys in the next one.
And
See you
we get
guys.
some
See ya.
new gameplay.